Why do you get to have headphones?
Because I'm the sound wizard.
Yeah, and I used to wear headphones.
Sound
and then
wizard.
It just got too much in my head, so I took them off.
Oh.
It makes me... Maybe that's why you think you sound different. We should start.
We're starting.
Let's start.
Well, okay. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Unhitched or Dead Trying. This is episode 20.
Woo!
Yeah, I was waiting, pause for applause. Thank you so much. I just want to take the moment. Let's just stop. Let's reflect. Let's journey back through the months and just, we've had guests and we've done things. We've had children. We've done all this stuff. And here we are, episode 20. What a milestone.
Wow.
20s are where it's at.
Agreed.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I do.
20s. Come on. Living it up in the 20s. Speaking of 20s, we have a 20-something. Are you in the 20s?
Yes.
How old are you?
Okay. Wow. Damn. Shots fired. Less than a minute in.
How much money do you make?
Yes, I am in my 20s. And yes, I am not going to tell you how much money. But
off mic.
I feel
off mic,
super welcomed to this podcast.
No, let's put you on hold just for a second there. Lauren, we have a guest today.
We do.
Yeah, so someone very special, someone that's very eager to talk.
Oh, yes.
I was asked a question.
That's true. You're eager to answer, and let's put it that way. But we have Caitlin with us.
Hi.
Y'all.
Hello, Miss Caitlin Van Wagoner.
Hello.
Van Wagoner.
The owner of one of the most beautiful names.
Stop.
I mean it.
That's so nice.
I love your name. Your whole name.
So if you were to rank all three of our last names right here, Carter, Neat, Van Wagoner, where would you rank us?
Oh, that's hard.
Do it.
What I like the sound of, it would be Van Wagoner, Carter, Neat.
Okay.
Because my name Neat kind of sounds like neat, neat. You know what I mean?
Aww.
Like I love
like
my
the
name.
Knights who say neat.
Exactly. But I love my name, but when it comes to how it sounds in your ear, it's the least pleasing of the names. When it comes to meaning, it's the most pleasing.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't even know what Carter means. What does Van Wagoner mean?
That was close to my last name, but not quite there.
I don't know.
Van Wagoner means
Van Wagoner?
it's Dutch. It's like van, wagon.
Uh-huh.
It's like two modes of transportation, van and a wagon.
Oh, hey.
Gotcha.
And add an ER. But it has nothing to do with the meaning. It means it's like Dutch. And the original last name, we believe, was Van Wageningen.
Whoa.
Oh.
And that means of the town of Wageningen. And that was a town in Holland.
So let me get this straight. It was Van Wagon Engine. Wow. Engine in a van.
That's meta.
Wagon.
Wow.
It wasn't
Previous form.
quite like that, but it's probably sounded like that.
That's
and
so
you
cool.
drive an SUV,
And
which
I
is
do
very
drive an
similar
SUV.
to a van, and it could technically pull a wagon.
It's a crossover.
I guess
It
so.
could maybe pull a wagon.
It's a cross.
I would love to see. What is it? It's like a RAV4 or what
It's
is
a
it?
RAV4. You are
RAV4.
struggling with
I'm sorry. No, this
tonight.
is Hillbilly Cameron would say.
These are struggling.
No, British. That's the British pronounce it properly, and this is, of course, my British persona. RAV4.
The British say they have a lot of Toyota RAV4s.
Yeah.
in Holland.
RAV4s. RAV. Look at that RAV4 going down the motorway.
Oh, it's about to turn left at Windsor Palace.
Yes. And there goes down Piccadilly Circus down to
Yes.
Big Bend.
Oh, Big Ben.
Big Bend?
Big
That's
Bend
true.
is the park in Texas.
All the way back to Big Bend, Texas. Man, I would love to draw you a map of London right now. It'd be like 3 lines and
El Paso down in the corner.
El Paso is right down the road. Keep it going. But yeah, I would like to see you pull an actual radio flyer wagon right behind your car going down 75.
Right.
That would be interesting.
Next time.
Yeah,
fun.
It will be a podcast. Hey, Caitlin, thank you.
Hi.
I just got this breath of fresh air.
Yeah, you're so energetic.
So we hung out a little bit tonight prior to the podcast, which we'll get into a little bit later. But let's find out who you are.
Who am I?
Who are you?
That's important.
But let me start out. How's it going?
It's going well.
Yeah.
It is going super
How's
well.
the week, life? How's life recently?
Life is good recently.
Yeah.
That was a high pitched life or wife.
I liked it.
It's unclear why that happened, but we'll just push through.
You were excited.
Life is good. I don't really know. Nothing. I have a pretty boring life.
Oh, yeah.
It's exciting inside my head, but like outwardly to other people, it's mostly like I go to work, I work out, I come home. I watched a lot of Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman this week because I just discovered it on Amazon Prime.
Oh.
And it was my favorite show when I was in middle school. And so I watched a lot of Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. So that should give you some insight into how exciting my life is.
What was that on CBS when we were kids?
I believe so.
It's weird that I remember the networks.
It
very
is weird that
clearly.
you
I usually
remember the
do.
networks.
Ally McBeal was on Fox. That was a big deal. We watched a lot of Ally
Okay.
McBeal in my family. But Dr. Quinn, she's become now like the quintessential cougar in Wedding Crashers, in How I Met Your Mother. She's kind of, she not actually Dr. Quinn, the character, but the actress. She's like she's always the one who plays the like sexy older lady who's seducing younger men.
That's not a bad gig.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
she's beautiful.
She's beautiful. Like, I hope I'm that beautiful when I'm that age.
I know. And she's got that jewelry line going for her at Zales. Is it Zales?
Or is it Pandora?
Is it Kohl's?
Oh, wait. It's the open heart collection. Because if you have an open
If you
heart,
have open heart surgery,
love will always find a way in.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. Yes. Sad that we
So,
know her.
yeah, I do know that. And I feel like that's not bad advice.
No, it's true. Thank you.
I thought it was
Dr. Quinn.
if you have an
Thank you,
open
Dr.
heart, life will find a way.
If you have an
Oh.
open heart, call 911. That's the
Just
other
true.
tagline.
Well, I think hearts should always be open because you got to keep that blood flowing, baby.
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 Wow.
The world should also know Caitlin is in my boat. We are in the same boat together,
Yeah.
which is the Unhitched boat.
Yeah, that's very true.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
On a scale of 0 to unhitched to married, where are you?
Unhitched.
Okay, just completely
it's
unhitched.
just one or the
Yeah.
other,
All
really.
right, I guess that's true.
There's
It's a scale of 2. It's
no
a binomial
post
scale.
to which I am hitched.
No hitch in post.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
We-
The only hitch is the hitch on the back of your RAV4 that's pulling that wagon
Ooh, call back.
down.
We do a lot of fun, like, single gals in the city type things.
Such fun single guys. We would swing dancing that one time.
We did go swing dancing once.
The ultimate single thing to do in the
Yeah.
world.
Yes.
What else
'Cause
have we done?
There were
that's
actually
weird?
more guys than girls at the swing
There
dancing
were a
class.
lot.
I'm sure there are.
We've done some other random single girl. I don't know.
We went
What did we
out
do
last
last
Friday
weekend?
night.
What did we do?
Oh.
Oh.
Wait. I feel like I forgot. And then it hit me all at once. And I think the listeners need to hear about Lauren's Friday night.
I feel like this is a setup that this is pre-recorded
It
and this
was-
feels weird.
No.
We both go, oh.
Oh.
Well, hold on. Let me cue up a new segment here. Story time. That's the new
Story
jingle.
time. Thank you.
Story time.
We were at a very swanky New York, Dallas.
Not New York.
We don't live in New
To
York.
be clear, we live in Dallas.
That's true.
I get confused.
Do you want me to draw you a map? I'm really good at it.
You are really good at that.
Turn left at El Paso. There you are. Downtown
in New
Dallas,
York.
New York.
We were at a very swanky Dallas bar, the Happiest Hour, which is right in the middle of like the uptown area, right by like Victory Park, where the Mavs play and all this stuff. And
The Mavericks.
the Mavericks,
For-
the basketball team.
It's the orange ball.
Yeah, very good.
Very good.
And it was just like actually the evening started out really slow. Didn't you feel?
Well, I was exhausted, and so I was already planning my escape home. So that's perhaps why.
Yeah, but
It was
did
slow.
It started out
It was,
slow.
I guess, a little slow. We were
Yeah.
there just mostly to hang out.
And we were
each
there
other.
for a birthday party that none of us knew the person whose birthday it was, except for Cheney.
Oh.
Yes, Cheney knew. But we were there, and somehow this man just took a liking to me immediately.
Oh.
I mean, like, grabbed my arm and, like, pulled me in line with him. We were waiting to go upstairs. Because this was this place where we had to
Instant.
wait in line to go upstairs.
Oh.
Yes.
It was
Ugh.
too...
Yeah, totally not us.
Yes.
But so this man, he's like 6'3", wearing this white blazer.
Very fitted.
Yes.
I want you
Yes.
to imagine the most fitted white blazer.
Oh, absolutely.
Possible.
European looking. Like
That's what I'm wearing right now.
Yeah.
You look great.
Thank you.
His I don't know if I can say his name. I'm going to say his name. His name was Julio Cesar.
Ooh.
And he was just like unlike anyone I've ever met.
When he clapped eyes on Lauren, he was dunzo.
He was signed, sealed, delivered.
Yeah.
Right home to mama.
He knew how to bait that trap, and he
Yeah.
got you.
I didn't take the bait though. He was upset that I wasn't taking the bait. But he introduced us to all his friends, and his friends, it literally looked like a boy band from like, I don't know, Jersey Shore maybe.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
accurate.
There was like the Guido guy with the chain and like the slicked hair. There was like the really buff Asian
So
dude.
any 90s boy band.
Or have you
Basically.
ever seen the show Johnny Bravo?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's like a cartoon.
Oh, he is such a hunk.
Oh, well.
That's what this
okay.
guy looks
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm aiming for most of my days.
But Johnny Bravo was blonde, right?
True.
This guy was a brunette.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Nothing at all.
Just saying.
But it was, this guy just would not leave me alone. And like, he just grabbed my hand and was taking me all around this top floor of this bar. And at one point we were sitting inside and I was like, where are my friends? Why aren't they looking for me? I was like, where are they?
To be clear, we had been doing laps.
Meanwhile, your mom's at home, like that commercial comes on. Where's your daughter at this hour, at this time of night? Do you know? I don't know.
That's, yeah, I was sitting on a couch with Julio Cesar. But yeah, he was a cross between Ricky Ricardo and Fred Armisen.
That sounds
Armisen?
like a
I
great
never know how
combo.
to say
Fred
his name.
Armisen.
Not their humor styles,
Oh.
but just the
the look.
The vibe.
look, the vibe and the look.
Yeah.
The looks are mediocre for both of those men, right? That's could be worse.
Ricky Ricardo's kind of a hunk.
I guess so. So I guess you merge those two, you end up with about a solid 7.5 of a man.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would agree.
So on the couch, what kind of business did y'all get into?
Oh gosh.
Wow.
So it was actually pretty funny because he had his arm up around the couch and he was like, and I was sitting straight up and down, like on the edge of the chair, like I'm not gonna lean into this at all.
If I lean into it, I am his.
He knows the time is. and he just goes, why are you sitting like
He's
that?
like, the ladies always lean back.
And he called me on it. He's like, you don't look comfortable, lean back. And I was like, I'm good.
No, he actually said that.
And he was like, just scoot back, it's okay. And I was like, I like scooted back an inch and I was like, okay. But I felt so trapped. They eventually left because they were going to his friend's show at the House of Blues, who was with them. He kept going, he's a celebrity, he's a celebrity. I was like, cool. And then
Celebrity DJ.
celebrity DJ.
Oh,
I think
celebrity
apparently that's
DJ.
a thing in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess DJs too could be celebrities.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Name a celebrity DJ.
DJ Tanner.
Calvin Harris.
Okay. Is DJ Tanner an actual DJ?
No, DJ.
I would love it.
Wait. Actually, correction.
Did she?
In the
on-
original Full House.
Okay.
No, not so. But Netflix Fuller House, she becomes an actual DJ.
Does
Good.
she really?
Oh wait, no, that's Stephanie. Dang it! Oh,
And then it's funny because she.
and then
ended-
she
yeah.
becomes DJ Tanner.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I messed up
that's funny.
that story, but it would have been real funny if I'd gotten it right.
I like the irony of that. Way
Yeah.
to go, Fuller House.
Yeah.
I think Calvin Harris is a DJ.
Yeah.
Fuller House.
There's
Forced irony.
Dead
Sorry.
Mouse.
I
Isn't-
thought it was good.
I did not.
Okay.
I didn't
Well,
watch.
we
I only
agree to
watched
disagree,
one.
sir.
I've never seen an episode of Full House and only watched one episode of Fuller House. So
You didn't even give it a try.
hey, but I still can judge a show based off of. I mean, first episode of Fuller House. I mean, I judge it
Okay.
then.
You
There.
can't.
Anyway,
You can't. No, the first episode of Fuller House is just all nostalgia for the whole series of Full House.
then
So
why
if
don't
you
they
have
just
never
call it Full
watched-
House?
Because it's just the first episode that's like that.
And the Olsen twins aren't in it, so it's not like a complete returning cast.
yeah.
But all the more reason for it to be a standalone show and for me to judge it as
Cam,
a
you're gonna lose
standalone
this
show.
battle. I'm so sorry.
You know,
Lauren, what's going on with Javier? What's his name?
Julio.
Dang it!
His name was Julio.
Sorry about that.
Well, you know what? Props to him. He did actually ask me out, which doesn't happen a lot, where a dude actually asks you out. And I said no.
Oh.
I felt like a jerk, but the things that he was talking about, and I was just like, we're not a good match.
No.
I was. He offered a table near us, or like a little reserved seating area, $500 to let us stand there.
Oh, wow.
And I looked at him and I was like, I gotta go. And I just walked away, and he was like, where are you going? And I was like,
I want to date you, but I only want you to be near me, but I'm paying a lot of money for you to be near me.
I was just like, this guy is so not my type. But I was like, hey, thanks for putting yourself out there. You know what? It's always an ego boost.
Yeah, seriously. Paint one on the fuselage. You got him. You know what I mean? Like, just another contender.
Yeah.
You know? Add it to the bank.
I will say there was one time where he was...
but don't deposit it.
I won't. He looked at my fingernails and he goes, why aren't your nails done?
I didn't hear that.
It was because it was only when it was the two of us. And I looked at him and I go, because I don't want them to be done. Like, how do you answer that? And he just goes, oh, okay. So you ask me questions like that, like, I'm not going to say yes to a date with you. And then he asked me later, why aren't you wearing heels?
Oh my goodness.
And I just go, because I don't know how to walk in heels.
These are like questions that come down, like, I don't know. This is like an 8 months down the line type question after you've been dating, and he's already like he's already trying to change you before y'all even start dating.
I know.
Like, and why's your hair like this? I don't. Didn't you say you were going to get a hair appointment this week?
Well, just imagine me if I were to say yes to him after dating him for like 2 weeks, I show up with like nails done, like heels on, everything's different about me, like contoured face, and I'm just like, hey guys.
Or maybe he thinks what's his name from what is that movie where the whore becomes the
Pretty Woman.
Yeah. Yeah, I just made that comparison. I am so sorry.
I am the whore.
But in his mind, he's what's his name? The
Richard Gere.
He's Richard Gere in that movie, and
yeah.
so he has that effect on women.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. Good luck to him. He was actually super nice.
Good luck to him.
He will have no trouble finding a date because he's very charming. So, best of luck to you, man.
You think his
if you're out there listening, way to go.
Way to go, bro.
You do you.
You do you.
And you've been doing you.
And
it seems.
He rocked that blazer.
I want to know where he got that.
I know.
Because I kind of wanted it.
It was great.
It was great. It was very well fitted. It was fitted and also had this sateen sheen to it.
Sateen sheen.
Like a Ricky Ricardo would wear.
It was, yes. And I thought, oh, man, I'd like that blazer.
Yeah.
Or pre-Jugs Martin Sheen. Or not Martin Sheen.
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen. I'm sorry. You said Sheen and I had
off
Sheen
in your
on
own
the
little
brain.
land.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm such in a corner. I feel like y'all are really shoving me back here. Literally.
So yeah, that's what's up with me. It's always fun to get asked out. It is nice.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to go, you're like, yeah.
For me these days, it's just nice to be asked out to lunch by any coworker. I get you.
Yeah.
It is nice. It's like, hey, I know we're around each other all the time, but let's spend an extra 30 minutes together.
Yeah. I'm choosing to be around you.
Yeah. That is nice. Well, congrats. Let's
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Very much.
On this special occasion, this 20th episode of Unhitched or Dad Trying. Wow. Look at us now. Just so far, so distant from who we were.
I know.
Y'all are celebrities.
Who were
You're
we?
famous now.
Totally.
That's true.
For sure. Caitlin. Some would say that, because our guests, our listeners cannot see you, right?
Ooh.
But I want to describe...
Is that how radio works?
That is how this works.
Perfect.
I want to describe you in the way that we always describe you to people who don't know you, in the Disney character that best represents you. And Caitlin
Rasputin.
is... Bingo.
Also not Disney.
Mushu.
Shout out DreamWorks.
Is that the bat on Anastasia?
No,
that's the dragon. Oh wait,
no, that's like the monk, the
evil
decrepit monk.
But I said Mushu, which is the dragon.
Wow.
From Mulan.
No,
solid choice.
Caitlin looks like a more beautiful Snow White.
Stop.
It's true. Don't
Stop.
you agree, Cameron?
Let me think. If I had to pinpoint, I don't know. Sure.
Well, I think so.
Okay.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
This has been another episode of Lauren Thanks So. No,
Don't?
seriously. No, I get that. I could draw that assumption.
Ugh.
I also feel like, I don't know. I agree.
You're kind of torn up about that over there.
Yeah, he's really trying to.
I feel like there's someone else, but I don't think I would
Really?
compare you to to
Oh, okay.
But Lauren would. Lauren sees you in that
I see
light.
you
I
kind of
don't.
like Elizabeth Taylor also.
Ooh. Thank you.
Like circa Cleopatra.
Or Giant. That's one of my favorite Elizabeth
I've never
Taylor
seen
movies.
Giant.
It's so good.
Ooh, let's watch it.
Okay.
I think
Tangent.
she's so beautiful.
Thank you, Lauren.
You're welcome. I think you're beautiful.
Stop.
I do.
We know that I think that Lauren's definitely beautiful because actually this is a good story about how Lauren and I first met. Lauren and I have been friends for a while. She was friends with my roommate, shout out former guest, Cheney.
Yeah.
Cheney Nall.
Cheney Nall, former guest of the podcast. And I'm a notorious friend stealer, which is like I get to know my friends and then I make them be friends with me. And Lauren is a great case in point of that. But I met her several years ago. And we went and I don't remember if we went to dinner with Cheney.
We went to Milo's Butterfinger.
Wow. Is that what we did?
We went to Milo's
Is that a
Butterfinger.
club?
It's a really like
It's kind of like
bar.
a pool hall, but only old people go there.
and like SMU frat boys.
Yes.
Exclusively those two
Yes.
groups.
Y'all are hitting on the perfect place I want to go hang out.
Perfect
right now.
place. So I met Lauren that night and I came home and I told Cheney I did not like her because she was too pretty and too funny. And I didn't want to hang out with her again because I felt like she would overshadow me, which gives you great insight into where I was at that point in my life, which was not a great place.
It's so funny. Like I can't imagine you saying that, which is just so funny to me.
But I quickly, the next time hung out with her, thought, this girl is a gem.
Okay,
And I must be friends with her.
GEM.
But
GEM.
let's describe the next time she hung out with me.
Oh, yeah. The next time I hung out with Lauren was probably like a few months later. My roommate and I, Cheney, was this the party?
Yeah.
We threw a party and it was a cereal party. Were you there, Cam?
No.
Were you and Amy? Okay, so it's a cereal party. And at a cereal party, you know what? Guess what you do?
Eat cereal?
Boom.
Well,
You got it.
You got it.
So we threw a party around Christmas where we had a bunch of old school cereal, and we just invited our friends over to eat cereal and hang out. Apple Jacks and Captain Crunch, classic. And you're supposed to come in your pajamas and hang out and eat cereal. And I think we were watching Home Alone. So I knock at the door. A bunch of guests are arriving, and I go and I open the door. I fling it open, and who is standing in front of me but Lauren? And her outfit.
I was excited. I was like, it's Christmas time. Was it jolly
Her
old?
outfit was a thing to behold. She was wearing a bathrobe and a Tweety Bird shirt, oversized Tweety Bird shirt.
It was a nightgown.
Oh, Lauren, what kind of party did you think you were going to?
Pajama party.
She was holding a bag of Cheetos, like a big bag of Cheetos.
And I had my hair in pigtails with like ribbons and a giant nightcap, like a literal nightcap.
Yeah, she took the theme very seriously. So that at that moment, I knew we would be friends.
You didn't need to be intimidated by me.
I knew that we would be friends immediately.
You do have that equality that's immediately like, yeah, I can relax now.
Yeah, she puts other people in ease.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thanks, guys.
Was it one of those Ebenezer Scrooge type
Yes.
nightcaps?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
gotcha. So when you
Yes.
went home at night and you went to bed, you put that thing over the candle, right? And it went out? Okay.
and then
good.
put my nightcap on the corner of my bedpost.
Absolutely. And your stocking hung by the fire. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay.
With care. So yeah, I love
So that's
those stories.
Caitlin and Lauren's history.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good, solid history.
Yeah. And then like that night, I remember sitting on the couch and all these people were like making small talk with me, and I literally was sitting on the edge of the couch watching Home Alone like by myself. And they were like talking, and I was just like, shh, I'm watching Home Alone.
I get that because when you're describing this party, I'm like, why would I go? These are all indoor
wouldn't
without
you go?
other people activities.
Oh, true.
It's like this is going to be way more enjoyable by myself.
It was a
alone.
good party.
It was actually really
Oh,
fun.
I'm sure.
It was a good party.
Oh, I'm sure. Past guest Sean Hill was there too.
Oh, Sean. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Look at that.
How's old Sean?
Doing great. Married now.
Yeah, that's true. I did. Oh, I did see him post marriage. Congrats to Sean.
Yeah.
And Emily, his
And
wife.
And to us on our 20th episode. Everyone,
so much to congratulate.
Yeah. All right. Good job, us. Okay.
Nice.
Man, that's exciting. That's a good
Cameron.
little meet cute.
It is a meet cute. I love it.
It was a
It's
good
a roller
meet cute.
coaster of emotions.
It was.
With that. And Lauren's oblivious the whole time.
Little did she know she had an admirer hater.
I know, but it makes it better now. Cameron.
Hey.
What's up with you?
Guys. Something's come back into my life that has been missing for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
There has been an emptiness inside, but no, it's been filled. It's been filled with shallow things that can't quite satisfy the thirst. And this week, I finally quenched that thirst.
Mm-hmm.
Something came out last Friday night, that made me so happy. And wouldn't you know it, it's on television. On Netflix, to be specific, and the Mystery Science Theater finally returned. The Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yes.
MST3K.
Wow.
MST3K. Yeah, I had to think about that. Guys, this was very much a part of my childhood growing up. Me and Dick, who you might remember from our brunch episode.
Yes.
We loved this show growing up. This is our Friday nights. And we would go over to his house, put it on an old episode, and it was a little out of our time range. It was a little dated. This show used to come on Comedy Central and
Sci-Fi Channel, too.
Sci-Fi Channel, too, absolutely. I think the reruns. And we would just sit there and watch crummy B movies, just crappy movies, and just watch people riff on them, say stupid things. It sounds horrible, right? But it was the most entertaining and funniest thing I could do with my life. Truly wonderful.
I grew up watching that too with my brother and his friends.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. We would just like stay up so late watching the marathons of those shows.
They're so funny. So Caitlin, I don't know. You mentioned before the podcast you've never seen.
I haven't.
A
not experienced
MST3K.
it. But now I have to.
But you like the Flophouse, right?
I do.
You love making fun of movies.
I
right?
do.
This is all this is. This is the core. The best form of comedy is making fun of things that people put their hearts and souls into.
Yeah. It's edifying.
Yeah. Actually, it's anyway. That goes completely against my ideas about what's funny, but it is funny.
It is so funny.
And so it came back. It's a stupid show where it has no premise other than mad scientists decide that they don't like their intern and they would send him into space and torture him by making him watch cheesy, horrible movies. And, if he didn't want to watch them by himself, what could he do? But he could do something. He would create some robot friends to watch the movies with him. Mm-hmm. And he did. And it worked out wonderfully. And so fast forward 20 years later, this show finally comes back to life after Kickstarter funding and lots of support. But now it's being so it started by a man by the name of Joel Hodgson. He is still on the show. He does cameo appearances. But Jonah Ray Rodriguez, who's very funny, is now one of the main characters. Anyway, hilarious show. Check it out on Netflix. Amy and I started watching this last Friday. There are 14 episodes, and episodes are about an hour and a half to 2 hours
whole
long.
Movie.
Yeah. So we've been watching about 2 movies a night, and we can't stop, y'all.
Where are you on the number?
We're on 13.
Oh my gosh.
There are 14 episodes, and
Boy.
You're blazing through them.
it's the best thing I can ever plug on this podcast. It's
Wow.
so funny.
High praise.
It has Patton Oswalt, the lady from the Guild. I always forget her name.
The Gilda?
Guild. It's like a
Guild.
TV show about LARPing. I don't know. Some people watch it.
LARPing?
Y'all don't know what LARPing is?
No, is that like...
First off, let me say, this is absolutely going to be an episode and goes very much in the same vein as what we did tonight. LARPing is fake role-playing. Like when you see people out in a field and they're being all Lord of the Rings-y.
That's called LARPing?
Mm-hmm. It's after like real-life Dungeons and Dragons. Like Dungeons and Dragons to the max. Like if Dungeons and Dragons was not for 400-pound overweight people.
So, like, Civil War reenactments, is that LARPing?
Sure.
Renaissance fairs, is that LARPing?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just acting.
Medieval times, LARPing.
Ooh.
Oh, absolutely, I would say.
I'm shocked I could come up with 3 right
And-
now.
Yeah,
little-
I'm
yeah.
impressed.
Whoa.
Give me another.
The dentist.
Depends.
LARPing. If they're not a dentist, then it's LARPing.
I have never heard that word before.
Well, it's I'm not BSing you.
He
I feel
knows
cornered
vocab.
once again.
I know a lot of times I'm always like, I don't understand what you're saying. Like canonical.
Canonical,
He
the
described
storyline of Ken from the Barbie series.
That's
Right.
it.
Absolutely. Anyway,
So I'm gonna watch that.
yeah, thank you.
I know. I feel like I have to now.
Yeah.
You should.
I'm sold.
Like I was mentioning, you might know this show in other forms, riff tracks, where you watch a movie and you can sync audio up to the movie, and these 3 guys will basically make fun of the movie you're watching. Any movie you name it, chances are there's a riff track to go along with it. Yeah. Anyway, fun
You want
fact.
us to name some movies?
Name a movie.
Titanic,
Riff tracked.
Beethoven.
Riff tracked.
Ooh.
The Mask.
Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber.
I don't know. This is a dumb game.
I can't think of any more movies. Like not
That's
a one.
your limit.
That's my limit.
You should watch MST3K the Return, because there are plenty of more movies. There's more than 4.
Perfect.
There are 14.
Done. Sold.
All right, cool. So transition from LARPing and general nerd culture into something a little different.
Not really that different. Kind of in the same
The
vein.
same thing.
I would say they're a little different.
Just 'cause you're
I would
in
say
it.
if they're not in the same vein, maybe that's in one vein, and what we're about to talk about is in an artery.
Unlike the other side
That's
of the body.
Yeah.
But it's the same body.
Yeah.
To be clear.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we do it?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Boom, 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 topic thunder. What?
Hey, Topic Thunder time. So today's Topic Thunder is one that Cameron came up with, and if you listened to last episode, you probably remember him talking about doing this. We went to a comic book store today. Not just any comic book store, but a comic book store and gaming center.
Ooh.
So it was Madness, the comic book store you talked about last week.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So and let me just preface this. Neither Caitlin nor I have ever been to a comic book store.
Not once. I've never held a comic in my hand, I don't think.
Me neither. Not till today.
Completely new experience.
And so I think I should clarify when we say comic, we're talking comic books. We talked about it earlier. We've all read comics, the Sunday Funnies, things like that.
Dilbert. Shout
Right.
out.
Garfield.
Shout out to Dilbert.
Shout out Dilbert.
I wonder if
he doesn't get enough attention.
No, he never does.
Yeah.
I wonder if I would find that. I never thought that was funny.
I
wonder
thought
if
Dilbert was so funny.
Really?
I think now we all would because we all work in an office.
That's true. Oh, that's so true and so sad.
And we'd all be like, ha ha.
That would be the exact. I think that's what they're going for. I don't want to make a comic that's too funny, but I want to give a little haha.
It's
Little
like a
chuckle.
depressing laughter.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this is my life.
Do you remember when Dilbert was a show for like a little while?
I vaguely remember that.
Oh my gosh, I should update the blog this week and actually put a clip from that because it's really weird. It was
Do
an
it.
actual TV show like Family Guy. Oh, I know. It's really bizarre. Anyway, so y'all haven't ever read a comic book in your life?
Nope.
Nope.
Never seen one. Okay.
Nope.
I've seen one in the movies,
Me too.
in the pictures,
Right.
but I have never up close and personal held a comic, read a comic, etc.
Me neither.
And I'll be honest, up until about 3 years ago, neither have I. It was a very foreign world to me. I think for me, what really got me and Amy into it is like everyone else over the past 10 years has been the comic book superhero movies and all that, right?
Right.
Right.
That's
So
all I know of that world. Yes.
yeah.
too.
So I mean, you've seen Marvel movies like Spider-Man?
I know. I have a vague understanding of DC versus Marvel. Vague understanding of that, and I've seen a lot. I feel like I've seen a lot of those movies.
Gotcha.
They all
So-
start to run together to me.
Yeah.
After a while.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The Avengers versus Iron Man, etc.
I get that. I
Yeah.
think it's, the Civil War stuff, Captain America stuff, and Avengers stuff kind of is all a blur to me sometimes. But I don't know. So if I told you Ant-Man, is that DC or Marvel?
Marvel?
DC.
Okay, that's good. We kind of got a good litmus test here for where y'all are.
I just
Who
picked
was
the one
right?
that Lauren didn't pick.
Oh, Lauren's right.
Really?
Oh, goody.
Whoa.
It's like it's Image Comics, some weird third party. So we went to Madness Comic and Games. So right off the bat, ladies, first impressions. Single ladies first. Actually, Caitlin, let's start out with
It
you. You're the
was-
guest.
Yeah.
The doors opened,
True.
and
they
I
worked.
felt that my senses were flooded with stimuli because it was bigger than I thought it would be. It was really big.
Like it used to be an old grocery store.
Yeah, I mean, it was huge.
Yeah.
And there were lots more people in there than I thought there would be. And there was just so many, like, colors and so much to look at. Like, there were tchotchkes everywhere and collectibles. And then comics were, like, not really actually... There were comics there, but, like, there was more other stuff.
It's
When
like
you first walked
1/3 of the store.
Yeah, it's not that much of the store. Lauren and I were immediately attracted, beeline, to these large squishy things that you could like. It was very comforting to
You could
hold.
hug.
You could hug them, and there were a lot of things that squishy things to hug.
Stuffed
Yeah.
animals
Stuffed
for
animals.
the listener.
Oh, yeah. Well, but they're larger than your average stuffed animal.
Yeah.
They were alive and moving and
Yeah.
saying, "Ooh, I like that."
So that was my first impression. Was just overloaded, sensory overload, and like I was entering a different
Oh,
world.
yeah.
And then beeline for the squishy things.
Yeah.
Those things were pretty weird. Those were I remember the first time walking into that. I definitely my eyes just like straight to that. There's something about those things.
They're so
They call to
big.
you.
I don't even know what they're. So they're like fat,
Very
like
comforting.
It was like Adventure Time characters and like
I don't know.
hedgehogs.
I don't know. I
and
didn't recognize any of
animals.
them.
It
A
was weird.
jellyfish.
Yeah, so that was.
I
was like a
immediately
unicorn.
was attracted to the novelty mouse pads.
You were.
I know
was like,
that was a very
Maybe
interesting.
I should get one.
Let's start here.
I need a mouse pad.
That'd be so. All right, my shopping's done.
That's what I'm getting.
Shopping list: dice, mouse pad, poofy plush toy. That's what I would call that, right?
That's
It was a plush toy. That's a better
Plush
term.
toy.
Yeah.
it
Plush
was very
toy.
plushy indeed. So that was kind of the interest. So you pass the plush toys. You entered into, dare I say, the comic zone, or I don't
Yes.
even know. What were your first impressions there, Caitlin?
My first impressions is that I did not really know anything that I was looking at. Had never really heard any of the comics until we got to like the Batman and Superman section.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Spider-Man. But other than that, the completely new. So I felt like I was just very like confused about what it was and like how it all worked. And it kind of felt like a really old Blockbuster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I got that.
Yeah, it had like a Blockbuster
Maybe
vibe.
it was the people that were working there.
Also that, which is a whole other topic, I feel like, subtopic of that. But there was just a lot to take in, and I was initially very confused because it was a whole world that I didn't even know existed.
Okay.
And now I know it. Not only does it exist, but it like has its own ecosystem of like tons going on.
Yeah.
I have no idea. It was completely new to me.
So the comics were one part of it. Now I know you ventured over. Actually, I'm going to let Lauren, because I kind of want to go through this store section by section.
Yeah.
Lauren,
Okay.
you also kind of took a little beeline over to the comics initially. What was your thoughts and impressions?
My first thought was, wow, these are all violent. Because every single cover was like a zombie head or like someone with a sword or some sort of like superhero like jumping.
blood killer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like people with like giant weapons in hand. And I was like, oh, and I was just like, these don't look like my kind of thing. So I just kind of stood there and I just kind of randomly would pick up a comic and just like look at it and then open it, and immediately I would either be like, no thank you, or I would be like, huh, like interesting. But it was interesting how quickly I hated it or it pulled me in. And I honestly think it was more so like the colors of the comic book, like on the inside.
Yeah.
When it was all too much the same hue, I was like, no. And I
Right.
would put it back. Like there was one I opened it was all purples and pinks and whites, and I was like, I'm gonna throw up. Put it no. And then I was really wanting to not, because I wanted to get one. I walked in with like the determination I want to pick one. but I wanted to get one that I didn't already know the story of.
Right.
Like I didn't want to get an Iron Man or a Batman or a whatever
Star
girl.
Wars.
Right, Star Wars, because those are all there in like abundance. And I was like, I just want to get one that I don't know, which was actually harder than I thought, because I was surprised how many things I know about were either derived from a comic book or were turned into a comic book after they were created.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
No, I think it's a lot like Blockbuster in that when you go to Blockbuster, you're immediately overwhelmed, and you see like when you're in high school going there and you're like, this lady's throwing up on the front of this movie, or like, I don't want to see that. Like, you're just off put by so many things. And like back in the 90s and early 2000s, we haven't seen every trailer, we haven't seen every movie, and you're kind of looking at these things for face value and kind of looking at the back, reading the back. It kind of felt like that when I first went into a comic book shop ever. I kind of get that to a degree, but yeah, I'm there with you. I think like the ones that had the same hue, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I hate those. Like, it has to be visually pleasing. I can't force myself to like something that I don't like to look at.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's true with most things in life.
It made me realize what I'm interested in, and it's weird. Like, I'm weird, you know? Like, I'm
pretty weird.
I said to Amy, we're standing there, I go, do you know of a comic about the Black Plague? And I was being 100% sincere. And she's like, no. And I was like, oh. And I was literally bummed. I was like, oh.
Wait, where's your, like, have you ever heard of, like, did this come out of thin air?
Is that just an interest you have?
It's an interest of
a
mine.
general query?
It's just a dark interest I
Where's
have.
the disease state sections? Epidemics? I mean, you have comics that are about epidemics. The Walking Dead, if you will.
But see, I don't want some made up thing. I want like, this really happened. It killed 1/3 of Europe. History. I want a history.
You want a
looking for the
historical
newspaper.
comic book
I
section.
want a historical comic book
I
section.
feel like I'd read a historical comic book.
Yeah.
Give me Benjamin Franklin.
Ooh. Founding fathers.
Ooh. Any day.
I like it.
I can guarantee you that you can find a Benjamin Franklin comic,
Yeah, but
it's
he's
not going to
probably
be
like a superhero who's like a zombie bitten, and that's how he discovered
zombie Pride and Prejudice
Electricity.
Benjamin Franklin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to see him do that.
I want like a legit, like Genghis Khan, the comic, you know, like historical features.
Was he real?
Yes.
Oh.
He was.
I feel like y'all could have pulled this out of an old Highlights magazine and skip the whole comic book store.
Maybe.
Or read a history book.
That's true.
That's true.
I think y'all are just
more
looking
pictures.
With more pictures. But that's what history books need.
That's
what
true.
the kids need these days.
Just more pictures.
So
and we're
y'all are a
good.
fan of the pictures, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
as a form of reading, it's one of my favorites because it's just flush with pictures. The best part of reading, if you will. I mean, that's why the looking. I mean,
Part where you don't have to read.
Exactly. He's grabbing a stick right now, and then I get that because I can see that. I don't know. I like it more than I like bookstores. I'll be completely honest.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't.
That's
Yeah.
But I think it's like any bookstore. You just don't go to any bookstore and just, you don't want to read every book unless you're
That's
maybe
true.
you do. Maybe you're a creepy Belle type person that you want to.
You just called Bella creep.
Yeah, she's a little creepy. I mean, she's like a victim of Stockholm syndrome, and like,
Oh, well.
I mean, she really gave in at the end. Anyway, not that victims of Stockholm syndrome, for the listener, victims of Stockholm syndrome, I don't think are really creepy. It's actually kind of a tragedy. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't
Thank
know.
you, Cameron.
I don't want someone to hold that to me.
No.
Okay.
Well, can I bring up that one of my favorite parts of the evening? I was standing there with Amy. This is right after I asked her about the Black Plague, and I look over, and here comes Caitlin walking with this rather large employee, and she's just like very engrossed in conversation as they're like walking by us, and he's just like, yeah, I think I can take you where, and she's like, okay, can you show me? And like they were just having this entire conversation.
So whenever I walk into an establishment where I do not know, my MO is always to like find a friendly looking employee and just put myself at their mercy. So this guy walked up and he looked really nice. He was like, can I help you, ma'am? And so I said, I'm new.
New. Like new to America?
And he was like, well, what are you into? And I said, I don't know. And then he assumed that I was there to take Instagram pictures of certain things because he was like, oh, people, here's the statue of Batman, and this is a huge puzzle, and those are the two things that most people come in and take Instagram pictures of. And I was a little offended that he thought that was my sole purpose.
But then you find yourself, ooh, these are
and then
interesting.
I said, no, I'm here because I want to get into I was like, I want to understand this world. And so I said, what are your recommendations? And he walked me around, and that's when you saw us. And the comic I got, which I can't remember the name of, I don't remember the name of
Something Fairyland.
I Hate Fairyland.
I Hate Fairyland
was his recommendation because he said it's really funny.
Oh,
yeah,
and that's
it's
about
like bright
it.
and colorful.
Did he kind of ask you? So what? I shared this story with y'all when I first got into comics. I had a wonderful person come up to me and really invest in me. He's like, okay, that's totally fine. You're new to comics. I'm going to get you into it. And he was right. And he did. And he asked me some good questions. He's like, what do you like to watch on TV? I was like, Bob's Burgers. And it was like, what are some of your favorite movies? I'm like, Star Wars, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, he came back and like showed us all these comics. And like, there's like, I was telling y'all about Squirrel Girl earlier, which is now one of Amy and my favorite comics. All these others. It didn't seem like you really got that.
Daniel
didn't
go to that extent. His name is Daniel.
Daniel.
Yeah.
He looked like a Daniel.
He did look like a Daniel.
He was wearing eyeliner.
He was wearing eyeliner.
Oh, how did I miss this?
I noticed, and it was blue eyeliner.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was kind of coming off like he wore it yesterday.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he was LARPing yesterday.
Maybe he was.
Really getting
and
into
I
it.
thought, he needs some like Neutrogena makeup remover because
specifically Neutrogena.
Neutrogena micellar water specifically. If
That's
you're
right.
looking for a really good shout out sponsor of the podcast, Neutrogena.
Right, you're doing some guerrilla marketing right now for Neutrogena. You are paid on the side.
Caitlin knows about her.
I'm a brain advocate for Neutrogena
face stuff.
I take skincare very seriously.
Skincare,
Other fun fact about me.
Sorry, what were you saying? I was enjoying this face stuff side conversation.
But to circle back to Daniel, he was Daniel, if you're listening, thank you for taking the time to, as Cam said, invest in me and my first experience in a comic book store. And I cannot wait to read the comic that you recommended.
So if you were to give this store a Yelp review, how many stars would you give this place out of your typical 5?
I feel like I would give it a 4.5.
Really?
I think so, because it was a good experience. Everyone was really friendly. Mm-hmm. The half star is because I found myself at a different point in time. I believe I was in the dice aisle, which we should get to at some point. Mm-hmm. But I was in the dice aisle next to an employee who just like burped out of nowhere. So I have to dock madness half a star for that experience.
But that's part of the madness experience.
I guess
you weren't
it was.
Experiencing it.
But everyone was really nice. Mm-hmm. I've never been that outnumbered in terms of male to female ratio.
Oh, absolutely.
There were probably, I think, 4.
I was going to say 4.
The 4th would be Ellie, your baby.
Yeah.
Women in that store. And probably like 100 dudes.
Yeah.
At least.
100 dudes. And you got to think about that. Both had 2 eyes. So you had about 200 eyes on y'all. I will say that. It
was a little overwhelming, especially when you went to they were most of them in the gaming center.
Now, I really want to talk about this right now. So let's stop here. So 1/3 of the store, comic books. The middle part, games. The third part of the store, literally sections for those that only want to play Magic the Gathering, people that want to play weird Star Wars strategy games, and places for people that just want to go and play games on their phone at a table with other people around them. Mm-hmm. And that's what that third section was. Do you want to talk about just kind of what did you see in that area?
You walk in, it kind of reminded me of a bingo hall, like the way it was set up.
Yeah.
Like long folding tables covered with like maybe a tablecloth, maybe I don't remember. Maybe a black.
I think it was that
tablecloth.
weird like fake plastic.
Maybe something like that.
Yeah.
And you go in and
get
there's
back
like
to
these
that.
long tables with folding chairs, and there's some sort of timer going on because I think one of the games was like timed. I don't know. And then there were every like so often there would be numbers because I think you had to reserve a table.
Right.
I think. So you would like come in and check in with this guy behind a desk, and he would point you to I think people were like going to a table to like for their party to go and sit and play. Mm-hmm. And then, but they were all over, people playing, like gathered in huddles of around these tables of like 4 or 5.
I would
or
dare
like
even say magical gatherings.
Magical gatherings. Or some of them had like 20 people around a table. And they were all playing different games. And then one of the games looked like it was like being administered by the place. Like it was like a guy who was, I don't know, emceeing a certain game. But it was people,
Maybe
everyone
it was the
really
DJ
happy.
that, what's his name, talked about.
Everyone was really happy. It was like people looked like they were having a good time. And I was like, kind of felt good. I was like, oh, I'm glad that these people like are having fun and a place to go. And
and are all staring at me
but
right
they
now.
were, I was like felt when Cam and I walked by, I was like, I felt just super uncomfortable.
I know.
Like, real uncomfortable. So I took a beeline later and kind of peeked around and looked at it. But it felt like a lot of confusion about why Lauren and I and Amy were there.
Like, what are they doing here?
And why does that woman, like, I don't know that they'd ever seen a baby. Maybe.
Well, I remember two things I noticed. When I crossed there, because there was a line, like a tall wall of graphic t-shirts that you could buy, and it kind of divided the gaming section from the place where you bought the games. And so I was like, fun graphic tees, yes please, reading all of them.
Fun graphic tees, yes please. That should be a graphic tee right there.
Graphic tees, yes please.
I really like that.
It should be. And I will sell it at Madness.
Oh, it could say fun. The front part could say fun graphic tee. Back says yes please. There it is. We're making
with
that
like 2 thumbs up.
If we ever have t-shirts, that's going to be
have
it.
merch. Yeah,
We
this
should.
is merch for Unhitched and Dad Trying.
Anyone who
Dad
owns a
Trying.
merch
Perfect.
company, get in contact
I like
with me.
it. It'll be perfect.
Get in contact with Lauren.
Yeah, sure. Contact me.
Marketing
We'll-
director.
Yeah,
Lauren Mead.
we'll give out your phone number later.
Meaderoni. So I round the corner, past the graphic tee. I loved observing these people. I loved observing them. But I will say, and this might be that I don't intend this to be mean, but I really was I was gathering from all my senses, and I'm trying to represent truthfully a wall of body odor as I passed into the gaming center. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, this is a non-deodorized group.
No, I wanted to get the smells too. I didn't know we were going to start this. I absolutely believe there is a definite change of scent on that side, and I think
really
that's.
was.
Do you think that's why? Because I thought about this. I was wondering why the graphic tees. They had one aisle for graphic tees and then a separate aisle that divided the whole room, and I was wondering if that was intentional, as if the t-shirts absorb the flavors,
Ooh.
the odors.
Don't get the
odors.
hanging ones.
That was
So there was another smell that I noticed. I want to see if y'all noticed this, but stale fast food, like McDonald's that's been left in your car for a couple
I
hours.
didn't notice that, but I believe it.
There was something over there. It must
In
was
the same section with the okay.
like it was more around the and I didn't even realize this. There was like a weird I've never even heard it. I love Star Wars to death, but there was this weird Star Wars game that people were playing with like little ships, and it was
like Battleship, but Star Wars.
Absolutely. And
It looked like what they actually do on Star Wars when they were like coming up with a battle decision.
battle plan.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, it does sound. I should have asked him. It actually kind of looks cool in retrospect. But yeah, it's like, when someone's having a war, I'm like, we're going to move the trips over to this, and they have the little shuffleboard stick and they move stuff across.
Yes.
That's what it looked like. But that fast food stench was just hovered over there. It was really bad. And I looked, there was no fast food, and it was just nasty over there, y'all.
Smell that.
Anyway.
I will say, I was really, really touched and impressed by their level of like dedication, and just like it's like you don't just jump in with one foot into that world. Like, you jump in, your whole body, you are covered in water. Like these people were walking in. Do you remember when we were about to leave? There was a father. It looked like a father and his 2 sons, all kind of strolling in, like a speed walk. Like, we got to go. We're gonna be late. And they each had like, one had a rolly bag and 2 had giant backpacks. Like, they were bringing their stuff to play,
Right.
and I was just like, I love that. Like, no one's even buying anything here, but they're just like bringing their games to play with other people.
I know. It's
Yeah.
It was so. I just loved
And
it.
I liked because you could tell that the guys knew each other,
yeah.
and it looked to me that it was incredibly diverse too. Like, all sorts of people. Like, and so it looked to me like they had all kind of met over time and kind of built up a community. Like, that's the vibe I got. And so I thought that was neat of like, oh, there's this subculture of what looks like a pretty strong community of people playing games together and being relational, like you said, Lauren. And I had no idea that was going on. And
it was like a little body. It was like a church at the end of the day.
Yes, with a smidge more body odor. But
now, I thought it was a little weird. I don't know if y'all have had this thought when y'all were there. And I thought about this last time. It seemed like I couldn't just walk up to anyone over there and just be like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, my question then is, how do you, one, get into these games and like insert yourself into these groups? Like, it felt like it was, to me, I don't know. I'm a little different than y'all. I felt like it was a little closed off.
Oh, I felt that way too.
I don't know. I really felt like I was the freak.
It felt more like it was out of self-preservation though. More so out of like actual rudeness, like that type of like everyone turns to look at you, but then they look back because they're like afraid that we were judging them.
Yeah, I think
I get that maybe
that vibe.
So I've had many people like probably approach. I mean, these are people that I imagine have probably been ridiculed for liking this stuff for a while, and had people like come in and be like, "Oh, this is really cool," not knock over their game. I don't know.
What a jerk.
I mean, they were asking for it. I only knocked over 2 games.
You pretended to LARP, and then you turned on them.
I LARPed their games all over the place.
LARP.
I don't know. So
but I agree with you. I did feel like I wasn't... It's like I was allowed to stand there, but I wasn't necessarily welcome.
Yes.
You know?
And you wouldn't have been invited to join.
No.
But that's more true for the games, not so much the store. I felt like the store
was very welcoming. Daniel was so welcoming. As I've said before, shout out Daniel.
Daniel helped me also.
Really?
Yeah,
and
he helped me.
Oh, he was digging us.
What did he do with you?
Well, he came over and he was like, I don't know what I want. And he goes, well, what are you interested in? I go, I don't like violent things. And he was like, well, and he like turned to the wall of comics. He goes, nothing here will work. And I was like, oh. And so he goes, okay. And he walked me over to another section and he goes, maybe this one? And he like points to a comic with like a, I don't know, it was like a girl with shopping bags. And I was like, maybe it will work.
Wow.
And I was like, you have pinpointed me correctly.
You look like you like shopping.
And he was like, well, she's like a superhero, but she's really funny and like
and
lighthearted. And I was like, cool. And I go, so she's like clueless, but a superhero. And he kind of laughed. He goes, uh-huh. And I was like, cool. And then he went on break and Logan came, walked over and he goes, I just let him on his break. He goes, I'm Logan. And he put his hand out and shook my hand. I go, hi, Logan. And I was like, thank you.
Do you think that's his actual name or his comic book name?
I think it was his real name.
Okay.
If you're gonna, Logan, I see what you mean, like Wolverine. Yeah. Whoa, that rhymed. So
Put it on a shirt.
I feel like they were super helpful, though.
I think that they also were getting a kick out of the fact that we didn't really look like we belonged there,
and we were very vocal about the fact that we had no idea what we were doing.
Both of us.
Help! Y'all just in the middle of the story.
Called an audible.
I was like,
I'm new is what the words that came out of my
I definitely got that vibe from you. I looked back and Caitlin, we were passing by and I heard you. My dumb thing for the week would have been you asking right out loud in front of. I was kind of embarrassed for a second. Like, what's a trade?
Is that not
like?
That's not. Wait, Lauren, do you know what a trade is?
You don't know what a trade is, and that's fine. But when you're in a comic book store, most people know what a trade is.
Not people who have never been in a comic book store before or held a comic.
Let me ask, Amy, what is a trade?
It's a book of comics.
Could you say that a little lot? What?
It's a book with comics in it.
Okay.
She says it's a book with comics in it.
It's a book with comic books. It's a fancy word for a paperback, a graphic novel, if you will. Okay. But it's an industry term.
I had no idea. Amy said that to me. She goes, I think we have that trade at home. And she said that to the guy helping us. And I was like, what the crap is she talking about?
Like a couple of...
Please get on mic, Amy. Yeah.
This is not...
This
You're
is
going to
Amy
have to cut this out. It took me a few weeks to figure out what a trade was. Like, it took me a while to figure out how comic books work. It's not, like, abundantly clear at all.
And we're still learning. We're still learning. I don't feel like I'm there yet. I don't feel like they would even accept me.
I think that's done a little bit on purpose.
That's
like a
true.
little bit of
to
like
initiate your way in. Get initiated.
yeah, and also like prove you actually want to know, and then we'll help you. Because you're right. I think this is a group of people that has been maybe marginalized and
Books knocked out of their hand.
right. But you know what? I want to go back. I kind of do. Like,
yes, I want to learn more.
I know. And we haven't even talked about the best part. An entire aisle of dice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Different die.
This is what I wanted to get to. Different die. So name some of the dice. So now you have your typical dice for the layman. A die. How many corners on a dice, Lauren?
How many corners?
On a typical dice.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8.
You want to rethink that?
Is that wrong? Corners?
Oh wait. I was thinking sides. You were absolutely right. The question was wrong.
Shoot.
And, oh gosh. Shoot.
6 sides, 8 corners.
There you go.
Yeah.
Dice expert.
Yeah, that's me. I
No.
actually, sorry, fun fact. As a child, I used to collect dice.
Oh, really?
Die. I had a tiny bag, and I would collect them from this local store that sold Pogs. This was back when Pogs were big.
Ah, yes.
So we'd go get Pogs and Slammers, and I would always get a die or a dice, and my dad would let me pick one out, and I would just take them home, and like I kind of just really loved them. I had them in this tiny little velvet bag, and I would empty them on my bed and be like, these are mine.
Just hover over them.
And I was like, these are mine, and they're cool. And like no one else was allowed to look at them but me.
There's something about a child having like when you realize you finally have ownership over something, and you're just like, this is mine. And like your
Really,
parents
your
like,
dad bought them for you.
85 cents.
They're your dad's,
like,
really.
Pat, she's in the bedroom again with her die. Like, I don't know
I
what's
would
good.
plug in my lava lamp, listen to Hanson, and play with my die.
Oh wow! At that phase in your life, I was picturing pre-Hanson for sure.
Well, it was Hanson's first CD.
Okay, so what? 10?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
A little too old for that.
She's really outgrown these die, Pat. Oh man.
But yeah, they had so many different die.
Die.
They had spherical die
Yeah.
that were weighted.
So they had like your Dungeons and Dragons. Like all I know about Dungeons and Dragons, there are multiple die that you can roll. So it's mainly for role playing. I've only done role playing once. I have no idea what's going on in this world. It will be in episode 1 it's soon.
Wait.
What?
You role played once. Is
Yes.
that what they call it when you play Dungeons and Dragons?
Like Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah.
Oh, you've played Dungeons and
Yeah.
It's
That's
hard
really
to say it. Dungeons and Dragons.
It's hard.
Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons.
Brag about it.
Yeah, I mean, what more can be said about an aisle full of dice? It's
heaven.
It's heaven. Multiple colors, multiple shapes. Like there was a spiky dice that
One
you
of them
picked up.
had dogs on them. Different types of dogs.
There's ones with
Glitter.
aliens on it. I know. We have a couple pictures we'll throw up on the Instagrams.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Lauren was in heaven.
I was happy. I will say I have a memory of these very, 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 very tiny dice that were like very, very small, and I had a few of those, and I was really looking for those, and I couldn't find them.
Oh.
I was like,
Next
like,
time.
The ones that
Little
go with the
Lauren-
little travelers games with the magnets.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The games you play on road trips with your brother, but
Absolutely.
then you immediately lose all the pieces.
Yeah, like
So
Dad
you-
went over a hump. Those games never lasted. Not even one car trip.
You know, that kids these days don't do stuff like that anymore. Like we had to entertain ourselves. David and I used to make friendship bracelets.
Friend trip bracelets.
Friend trip bracelets.
For trips
in
only.
the car on road trips. We would just like make dozens of them and be like,
Yeah.
who can we give these to?
You can have one. You can have another. Are you talking about like lanyards and things like that where you'd make those little weaved?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. those-
Yes.
We had to prepare. You'd have to like pack a bag for what entertainment you'd have on a road trip or
Oh
even
yeah,
a flight.
a road bag.
Yeah.
The Carters used to have a little road bag for our road trips, and it included snacks, your little travel games, lanyards, hemp if you wanted to make a hemp bracelet. Yeah,
Just the string to make like the bracelets, the friendship bracelets.
yeah,
Man,
a lot of bracelets in my childhood driving
Yeah.
days
lot.
when I was a child driver. Yeah, so I the dice is, I mean, if anything, if you live in Dallas, go to Madness Comic and James works there, and just for the dice aisle is wonderful.
Ask for Daniel.
Yeah, ask for Daniel
And
tell
Logan.
him what up.
Yeah.
And Logan, the employee, not the comic book. They'll send you to the Wolverine section. One thing I want to note about this trip, Baby was a little crazy, so I had to. She's been a little fussy. We gave her a little snack, and so I took her. And then I was talking to Daniel when I came back in, and I was asking him about a comic that I wanted to get. Which reminds me, Lauren, we didn't even talk about the comic you got. I really wanted to talk about that. But I asked David, hey, do y'all have a certain trade of this particular comic I want? It's a Poe Dameron comic, which Poe Dameron is from the new Star Wars movie. Anyway, I really like Star Wars comics. And he escorted me with Ellie back to this back section, which was a Star Wars section, which I didn't even know they had. Like, the whole back wall of this place. This place is so massive that I apparently missed the Star Wars section. And I just felt like all these action figures that I had growing up that I was playing with, I saw untouched in their package. There were all these characters from TV shows I watched growing up that I never knew they had an action figure. They were back there, and all these comics I never even heard of. It was all there, and all these, I love Star Wars, but he was showing me all the stuff that was opening up new realms of Star Wars to me. And so it got me all giddy, and I really had to contain myself and not buy anything, which I ended up buying about 4 comics. So I really loved it. It was one of my best experiences at Madness Comic and Games.
Aw.
No, Lauren.
We all had childhood moments.
We did.
Why
No,
don't
your
you-
childhood moment was a little interesting. Your comic that you got. You want to talk about that for a second?
I chose The Dark Crystal,
Yeah.
but I can't remember the beginning of the title. It's kind of like the prequel to The Dark Crystal, that Jim Henson movie from the 80s. Or I don't know, it was late 80s or early 90s. But as a child, I watched that movie and it scared me to death.
Oh, absolutely.
Nightmares. And so I saw it and I was in my head, I was thinking, I think I can take it now. I think I'm brave enough
Right.
to handle it. So, but because I look at it and I've always been super intrigued by Muppets, Jim Henson.
Intrigued. Not entertained, but intrigued.
For real, I wrote an entire report on Jim Henson when I was in the 4th grade because I just thought he was so cool. And The Labyrinth was my favorite movie. But so finally I was I want to know about this Dark Crystal world. So
Right.
I just kind of went with my gut and I bought issue 1 of The Dark Crystal.
All right.
Yeah.
You'll let us know how it goes next week. Because I actually really do want to read this when you're done.
All right, I'll read it and I'll let you read it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel I don't know. I think we fully covered it.
I think it was a success.
I do too.
What did y'all notice? The only other thing I want to draw attention to, people outside of the store. Did y'all happen to see a yo-yoer?
Yep.
Yeah.
I missed the yo-yoer.
It was when we were walking in.
I saw some other characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some dudes smoking outside, but there was this one guy that was rapping, and I only know this because I had to drop Ellie's car seat back off at the car and come back in. When I went outside, I feel like I should save this for my dumb thing. I'm going to save this for my dumb thing, y'all.
Okay, save it.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into ratings.
Okay.
So what we're going to do right now, Caitlin, is just go around the table. We'll start with you. Give us just kind of a quick summary of what you thought of your whole experience and a rating on the scale of 1 to 10.
1
And
to
from
10.
your perspective.
From your perspective on being a single lady in a comic book store with a lot of body odor.
Oh, well, that scenario, I feel like my rating for this evening would probably be an 8. So it wasn't it's not an 8 in the sense that I opened up a new world for me and made me think about people and a subculture that I didn't even know existed. So the thought experience, I would give an 8. The being a single girl in a comic book store, at some moments I was like, ooh, I feel a little uncomfortable here, but it's fine. So I really enjoyed learning about something new and interesting and seeing that side of that new world. But there were some moments where I was like, I don't know about how I feel here.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. But it was fun. I had fun for sure.
Mm-hmm. Solid score.
I know. I was actually kind of shocked by that score.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a generous score.
You're a learner though, so that makes sense why you were so like, ooh, I've never experienced this. I want to absorb it.
I would say I haven't known you for very long, but you seem to take well to new things.
I like
That's
new
good.
things. I like being challenged, like conventions or presuppositions being challenged. And I thought it was going to be one way, and it wasn't. And so I was like very pleasantly surprised by that.
Let me ask you, how does that translate into like foods? Are you willing to go and try like new foods, or is it just kind of
No?
Okay, never mind.
Only intellectual exercises. I'm a very habitual eater.
Yeah,
Very habitual eater.
I get you.
Yeah.
All right.
Not gastronomically adventurous, but
Nope.
everything else, yes.
Everything else, yes.
I would love to see someone who's gastronomically whatever the word is. I don't know science. I don't work in the medical field.
Oh, no.
Anyway,
Okay,
Lauren,
my ranking.
and keep in mind, I've noticed this on the past podcast. We've never rated anything other than drastically below a 5, but keep that in mind. I feel like we've been very generous with things lately.
But that shouldn't skew my...
That's true. That's true.
shouldn't
You've
skew
already
my
had your
experience.
score
Yeah.
prior. But I just wanted to shed light on that because I had 2 people talk to me about that too. So anyway,
Well, it's not our fault. We just generally choose fun
things
things
that
to
we
do.
like to do at the end of the day.
If you want us to do something really unfortunate, write us in and let us know what we should do.
Unhitcheddadtrying@gmail.com.
There you go. I think I'm going to give this a 7. That is my ranking. It's mainly a 7 because I feel like I didn't really find a comic book that I really wanted to read. I kind of defaulted to Dark Crystal, and I'm
Yeah.
excited to read it, but it's like I really wanted to get a comic book where I knew absolutely nothing about any of the characters, and then I ended up with something I did know about. So I was a little disappointed in that because I kind of love getting lost in other worlds when it comes to like literature. So I was hoping to kind of find something I could dive into.
Right.
And maybe I did. I don't know. We'll see. But
So
I
is
guess-
your score pending?
No.
Okay.
No, it's a 7 because I think it was like about a 9 before that happened. Or I'm with you, Caitlin. Like it was fun, like going all together. We were like going in and like immediately there was a dude yo-yoing outside and I was like, this is gonna be great. You know, like I'm so happy. And we get in there and it was just so many things, you know, and I was just like, this is gonna be fun. Nostalgia played into my score, you know, like the dice and graphic tees and the people. I really enjoyed tonight. It would have been higher if I like fell in love with the comic, but I really enjoyed tonight.
Very respectable.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And as a single girl, I felt like you don't want to walk into that place like really dolled up.
Yes.
You know,
Agreed.
No.
you would just be like, duh. Like,
Gosh.
I just imagine like the wolf from that cartoon, like his tongue rolls out his face
And
his
like
eyes go,
oh God. We've watched too many cartoons in our youth, in our adulthood. And now for me, I'm coming into this pretty biased. I've been to this place. I knew I would like it. I gave it a 9.
Ooh.
It's now comic books on the whole. I know I shouldn't take prior experiences into the current week, but this week, like all the previous weeks, was just, I don't know. It's just great. I know at the end of the day, I'm going to get some comics. We're going to come home. We're going to sit on the couch. TV's not going to be on. We're just going to read some comics, maybe chat a little bit in between while Ellie's asleep. In a comic, you can pick it up. You can go. You can take it into the bathroom. It's a great toilet read. Anyway, I don't
Now
know.
we got a great
Yeah,
visual.
Yeah. Really sit on that, just like I was. So, oh gosh, can I?
Nope, keep going.
Okay. I love the customer service at this place. I love comic book shops because it is a subculture, and I feel like I'm finally getting into that culture. I'm being accepted into it. I'm just as out of place there with the baby. Like, if I go into a restaurant or if I was to go into a club with a baby, that's weird. I'd feel uncomfortable. But with this place, they're accepting any and all people that walk into their doors, and that's how I felt today. We had a crying baby, and it didn't frustrate me. Right. So I loved it. Solid 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say, everyone was happy there.
Yeah, everyone was very happy.
Everyone.
I do love it. Well, guys, I think we pretty much covered it for the comic book store. Let's go ahead and transition into dumb things.
Perfect.
Okay.
Dumb things.
Welcome to Dumb Things, the part of the show where we talk about dumb things. Yeah.
Welcome, Caitlin, to Dumb Things.
I'm so glad to be here.
So we've now transitioned into this part of the show. This is the part of the show where we take the things in our lives, the things that we maybe experience, do ourselves, or potentially, I don't know,
Witness.
anything that's dumb. Witness.
Yeah.
And we usually like to just share. So this is time of sharing, and we want to share with you, but we want you to share with us first.
Yeah.
Okay.
First.
So I'm gonna start off my dumb thing by asking a question. Pop quiz. How do you spell the word dilemma?
Oh,
it's weird. It's like DILEMNA.
How do you spell the word dilemma?
Oh, this is not my strength. I would have put 2 L's in there. No, that's wrong. DILL.
Dill? Pickle?
Dilemon. No.
Dilemon.
Dilemma.
DILLEMON.
DILEMMON? No, Emma.
Dilemma. Okay. You did it.
I did it.
An in. No, you put an in the word dilemma.
Yeah.
I've been hearing that. So my roommate came home in a tizzy this week and asked me how to spell the word dilemma. Dilemma is spelled DILEMMA. But apparently there's been, in some schools, it has been mistaught for years to have an in. So my roommate grew up with having it spelled DILEMNA like you just did, and so did her mom.
Us dummies.
But that's not actually how it's spelled, but like in a lot of schools it's being mistaught apparently, and there's like message boards on Reddit about it.
Oh my.
And this is like blowing my mind that this is like yet another subculture that I had no idea. And apparently, like, my roommate works at a school, and apparently other people in her school were like had heard of this as well. And there's things on the internet about like how it's been chronically mistaught, like spelling tests were given to kids with the wrong spelling on it. So anyway, that's my dumb thing that blew my mind.
Oh
this
my
week.
gosh. Thanks, Obama.
That
Jeez.
is dumb. So, but nowhere did they spell it dilemon like I did.
No one. So
look at that over there on the cutting board. That's the lemon.
So on a scale of correct to incorrect, you are incorrect, ma'am.
I'm so incorrect.
You are incorrect.
I love the irony of like the word dilemma.
I know. I was
going to
say.
Yeah.
What a dilemma.
Everybody listening, Google this injustice that has been inflicted upon the school children in this country to be taught incorrectly.
Man.
That sounds like a good mystery. Have they gotten to the bottom of like ground zero for this?
I don't know.
Is this like the longest con in the history
I don't know.
of our school system? Like some little jerk was like, I'm going to change the spelling in the school textbook. Woohoo.
I bet it all started
at,
it's like some pivotal spelling bee, and someone cheated and like changed the answer on the form, and it's like perpetuated until now.
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how.
That's my dumb thing.
I can already tell you my wife is over there Googling this right now on the couch. There's a show called Away with Words on the local NPR station. Yeah, I'm curious to hear what they would say about it. I'm sure
Amy,
they've already said something.
Dilemma?
With 2 M's.
2 M's, listeners.
It's insane to me that anyone would think there was an in.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
really glad you brought that to our attention.
So anyway,
to be
my dumb
fair,
thing.
I've never spelled it right either. Either way.
Now you know.
The right way or the wrong
now we
right
all
way.
know. The more you know, folks.
There we go.
Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun.
The more you
Cameron.
know.
Oh, you want me to go?
Me go.
You go.
I'm gonna go. First off, I mentioned I I have two goodies. I have to mention real quick the yo-yo boy outside. Very odd. Passing by him initially, he was on his headphones, rapping a little bit and yo-yoing, which is cool. I'll find it good. If a person's going to yo-yo in public anywhere, you better do it at Madness Comic and Games because it's a little not out of the usual for there. But it's when I took Ellie back to the car. I was passing by this dude again. He had the world's longest little white extension cord, and he was had it attached to an outdoor outlet outside of this place and to a pillar, and he was charging his phone. But he was like walking around with his phone plugged into this on this long extension cord and rapping while yo-yoing. He was like,
"There's a lot going on."
Playing a game while rapping and yo-yoing all at the same time. So that's my dumb thing. I soon find myself in the store and notice that this guy has come in. And he's, I guess, shopping real quick. You can kind of tell, like, this guy hangs out here a lot. And all of a sudden I hear, "I'm ready. I got what I want." And then I literally hear the lady checking him out. "Oh, great."
Oh, great.
So you can kind of tell that I worry that we felt welcome there. But I'm like, this dude probably has worn out his welcomes here at Madness Comic and Games.
Well, he was loitering.
He really was loitering.
Pretty sure I saw a no loitering sign.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. How do we not know that he bought that yo-yo there? I don't even know what he got, but it seemed like he was ready for a purchase.
Well, he was ready. I was into yo-yoing for a while in elementary school.
Yeah, Pogs, yo-yos, you and me.
A yo-yo sales guy came to school. It was like
You
Music
were a woman
Man.
of many interests in middle school.
This was elementary.
Oh.
Yeah.
The elementary, there was a yo-yo
Thank
salesman
goodness.
that came
Was
to
this
read elementary.
pre-dice?
This was conjunct.
Also,
like,
we need
same
to
time.
take a moment to talk about whose job is a yo-yo salesman.
He was successful that day. Like, we all bought yo-yos. Like, we
Makes me sad that
light up
that's
one.
someone's job.
I could do walking the dog.
Yeah.
I got good.
Yo Mega, do you remember those brands?
No.
Dunkin'?
Dunkin' Donut? Wait.
No.
Dunkin'. I remember Dunkin'. I remember Dunkin'.
yo-yos.
Yeah.
So in my elementary school, we had a person during our chapel come in, and I remember this very fondly, and he was a yo-yo trickster. And he did yo-yo tricks, and he was doing like the Eiffel Tower, and was doing like really kind of silly, stupid yo-yo tricks, and he was doing some crazy ones.
As opposed to really cool yo-yo.
Trust me, there are really cool ones. Don't you diss them. I'll show you a thing or two.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I promise you. Don't give me that look. Guys, it's actually a lot of fun. And it's like riding a bike. If you like, when I picked it up, haven't picked it up in 10 years, and I could still do all the tricks I used to be able to do.
Ooh.
Anyway, this guy sent me down that road and bought so many yo-yos. It was like yo-yos for 5 years for me.
I didn't know this.
It was a
this
big part of my life.
Pre-surfing cam?
This is pre-surfing cam.
Okay.
But this is also concurrent with Pogs.
Have you ever yo-yoed and surfed at the same time?
No, but I'm pretty sure I've knocked over a stack of Pogs with a yo-yo.
All right. That's very nice.
But maybe I
combination.
should add the surfing element in there.
I think you should.
Yeah, I'll get to that. Anyway, my second dumb thing is Amy came home one night after working at the bakery, and apparently some lady in the craziest of days on a Saturday right before Easter walks into the shop. Amy overhears her say, "I'm just so disappointed in that CVS. I hear they're going to be open on Sunday. I'm so disappointed."
Aww.
Anyway, that just shows you the town that we live in.
Hey, we live in the Bible Belt.
We live in the Bible Belt here in Dallas.
That's right.
It's sweet.
I mean, where else are you going to go to get your Reese's eggs on Easter if not CVS?
You should have already gotten them.
It's true.
It's the Lord's Day.
I waited till the day after to go get my Reese's eggs.
And that's how you should do it.
So my dumb thing.
Dumb thing. Tell me.
Happened to me yesterday at work. I was sitting.
You
so
have
I
a lot
work
of dumb things that happen at work lately.
I do always.
Spit. What a...
I was in my cube, and there's really no privacy in your cubicle. Like there's the illusion of privacy, but you have nothing. Like the walls are not walls. It's just like everyone can hear you and see you.
It sounds like a riddle. Sorry, go ahead.
It's you are out in the open. So I was trying to send a funny picture of I made a joke with my coworker. She messaged me, "What are you doing for lunch?" And I said, "Watching you eat." And I just sent it. But I was looking for a meme to quickly send after it of like a drooling something. And so I found a picture of drooling Patrick from SpongeBob. And it was like on the Google image page, so it's like a bunch of images and then zoomed in on the one I chose of drooling Patrick, and I was like I looked like I was really concentrating. I was like and then my coworker, whom I don't work that closely with and who doesn't know me that well, walks up and he's like, Lauren, I have a question about tomorrow's emails. And he just sees my screen and I just go, oh, I look up at him, I'm like, oh no. And he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm working. And I close out. I was like, okay. And I like shrink down the
interesting graphics for tomorrow's email, Lauren.
Yeah, it was just a big drooling Patrick the starfish. And I was like, oh boy. And so he was just like, okay, well, let me know when you're ready to talk about the email. I was like, okay. So then I like sent an email to my coworkers, was like, this is the screen that was just on when he walked up. I sent them a screenshot. And then I heard each one of them different times be like, separate parts.
Oh man. That's, oh gosh.
Yeah.
So I do one thing at my clinic. I help run the employee of the month. Like whoever, like I send out an email like, this is your employee for the month, and give goodies and things like that away. And I find myself on some of the weirdest pages because I never want to just send out an email like this month's winner of the employee of the month is Marcy, and like congrats, like it's a little cheesy, so I always spruce it up. My life is so boring. I can't believe I'm telling you this. So I spruce it up with a GIF, but sometimes I look up some GIFs. I'm like applauding cat GIF, and I'll look it up. And there will be some of the most heinous stuff on there. And I'm like so worried I'll like shut down the website. Like, so I've seen some of the weirdest things. And like my employer probably has seen some weird things similar to what you were doing. And they actually check pretty regularly.
They check your search history?
Oh, yeah, they do.
Oh, boy. I hope no one does that on my computer.
Oh, well, they probably do. You work for, most companies do.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
You're going to find a lot of Lauren looking up movie times.
She's looking up movie times for 12:30 in the afternoon. What's up with this girl?
Taking a long lunch today, guys.
Doing some networking. It's at the Alamo Draft House, so it's a networking lunch. Yeah.
Oh, brother.
Man, that's pretty, that one actually made me feel really good.
Yeah.
Guys, it's late. It's been a fun night with y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming. Caitlin, thank you so much for coming on.
It was my
and
pleasure.
Being
yes, Caitlin, you've been a pure joy.
Oh, thank you.
You really have.
It's been my joy.
Oh, yes. It's been a really fun night. From comic books to podcast.
And everything in between, which was Central Market. We had dinner.
Yeah.
We needed dinner.
It was great.
It's a grocery store here in Dallas for non-Dallas folks.
Oh, and hey, big shout out to our overseas listeners. If you're listening in the British Isles,
and only the British Isles, screw you to everyone else.
Yeah.
If you're listening elsewhere, cool. You're welcome too.
Yeah.
But shout out to Trevor. If you're listening,
Shout out, Trevor.
you're the best.
You're the best. We love you.
Trevor, keep it up.
Keep it up, man. All right. If you want more of Camera Eye, you can find us on our social media platforms. You can find Cameron at CamCarter2010. That's his handle on Instagram, and Nitaroni. I mean...
Yeah. Find me at Neateroni.com. Neateroni.com.
CamCarter2010 at Nitaroni.
And you can find my counterpart, Lauren, on Instagram and, well, only Instagram at Neateroni. Neateroni.
Bingo.
And you can find her on Twitter at Neatos Tweetos.
That's right.
And go check her out for her most recent Twitters and tweets from 2011. And Caitlin, do you wish to share where you can be found on the internet?
On the internet, you can find me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Same handle.
And
Caitlin
what about
Van
LinkedIn?
Wag.
Caitlin
I'm also
Van
on
Wag.
LinkedIn. Caitlin, CAITLINVANWAG. You can follow me on Twitter, but I don't tweet, so don't do it.
Yeah.
But I have a Twitter handle, so
If you-
no one else can have it.
That's how you work. And if anyone can get on LinkedIn and bump you up for any skills, what skills do you want them to bump you up for?
Really anything that's like a vague sort of job title, like marketing guru.
Okay.
Anything that like feels a little pretentious. The more pretentious sounding would be best.
Sweet.
Okay,
What I
great.
needed.
Public speaker.
Public speaking, yeah.
You're good at it.
You are.
You are.
I feel so
New
much
things
better.
trier.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Guys, I feel so good about myself.
That's good.
You should.
Yes. Thanks for making me feel welcome.
You're
You
welcome.
are.
Well, guys, that about does it for this week of Unhitched or Dad Trying. Check us out next week when we do something kind of cool.
I'm sure we will.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. This is not the same.
Where they go to the edge of space and they end up in hell.
Never seen it.
What?
Yeah.
Is that
And
what's
Sam
at the edge
Neill,
of space?
Sam Neill's the devil.
Who's
What?
Sam Neill?
No.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Which one is
He's
he?
the good doctor.
He's,
No, he's
The
the-
old one?
he's the
No.
one that hates kids.
So I guess he's not that good.
I guess most everyone hated kids in Jurassic Park.
Well, the kids
He redeems himself.
lured
That's
people
true.
to dinosaurs. Right?
What's that?
I don't know. I've
Kids
only
were
seen that
kinda
movie
dumb.
once.
The kids were like making a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And climbing on that electric fence.
Yeah,
Why did
and
you do
banging
that?
pots and pans in the kitchen.
Well, that was to escape the raptors.
Oh, yeah.
You got to give him that credit.
That's true.
They did other plenty of stupid
The
stuff.
reflection thing was cool. Remember that?
Yeah.
In the, no.
This is another episode of Remember That? Hey, remember when Jim Carrey used to talk out of his butt on Ace Ventura?
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Remember that?
Your turn, Caitlin.
What does he say?
Somebody stop me, right? Yeah.
Remember when Cam tried to make a joke earlier tonight that wasn't? It was like 3 minutes too late.
Recount it.
I do.
I don't remember it.